Hi there, welcome to the Kingdom Table, a place where we have real, open, and raw conversations about real life with God in the center. I'm your host, Kiara, and I have with me Raphael.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Okay, I wasn't even born at that time, but I just had to include it. I had to include it. Now, I know this month is Love Month. Everybody's worried about their boo, their guy, their man, their bae. All that is cute, but we're not going to disregard our friends. Who was there when that man had you crying? Your friends. Who was there when that girl left you? Your friends. Let's put some respect on them. Now, Ro, I have one question for you, a little icebreaker. I just want to know if you could build a friend, but this friend only came with three character traits: honesty, comedy, loyalty, wisdom, whatever you pick. What three traits would you pick if you could build a friend?
Number one, gotta have communication skills. Gotta be able to communicate.
Okay.
Second one would probably be we gotta be able to have fun. You gotta be able to laugh. But also, well, wisdom too, but love. You gotta be able to love one another.
That's good. That's good and all on theme. So you said communication, fun, and love.
Yes.
So I want to start with communication. You know, it can be a little bit harder to make friends as an adult because you tend to go less places. You're at church, you're at work. You might have a couple hobbies if you're like an advanced adult, because a lot of adults don't have hobbies. They just go to work and take care of their kids and etc. So how often do you like to communicate with your friends in order to maintain that relationship when you're not close, like when you're not meeting up with each other as often? Like how do you maintain that bond like as a busy adult?
Well, a couple scenarios I can use when I moved out of town. Me and my best friend, we didn't talk a lot, but once we got back together,
Yeah.
no time lost. I mean, that's what real friends do. You have some friends, okay, because you're not calling, they feeling some type of way, not knowing what may be going on. Quick text here and there could help. But if you got real true friends
Yeah.
and y'all know the situation, whether it be work, home life, kids, when y'all get back together, you ain't gonna miss a beat. It's like no time has passed.
Exactly, exactly. That's some of the best. That's still something that I'm trying to work on because I did have a major life switch. Like I left school in the middle of like all my friends were about to graduate the next year and I left. I had a baby. I started a whole new career
Right.
path. And so I'm still trying to figure out how my past friends integrate with the life that I have now and trying to maintain that communication. So even if you are communicating, we did kind of touch on this before, but how do you handle when you and your friends are in different spaces, when you are doing better about pursuing God and being intentional about your relationship and the types of things that were appropriate before that aren't appropriate now? How do you handle that difference when they're not necessarily where you are, or they may be a little bit further ahead of you and you're not quite caught up yet?
Well, in my walk recently that I decided to take with God, I had quite a few people to fall off.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle, no offense to anybody's lifestyle, you have to live how you live. But for me, I didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, sometimes they just don't
It just
align.
was, there's, no beef. Some people may take it as beef or you got an issue. No, it's just where I'm going. You can't go with me right now.
Right.
Maybe I'm being positioned to come back and get you later, but right now that's not aligned with where I'm trying to go. So sometimes you have to cut. It may hurt, but you have to kind of look at it as a purpose for where you're trying to go in God. So
Right. So you just mentioned cut. How do I know, like, okay, this isn't someone that I should be friends with versus like maybe I just need to pull back? Because I'm gonna give you an example. So I have a friend that our communication just wasn't like, it just was starting to fall off and like get weird a little bit. Like it felt kind of like our relationship was disintegrating. But this is someone that I still care about. It's just more so like some of the things that they were doing were hurting me. So how do I know I just don't need to be friends with her versus maybe we just need to pull back, or maybe we need to like change the course of our relationship? Because we're still young. Like I'm
right.
still only in my 20s, so I barely know what's going on.
But have you communicated that with her? Have y'all had the conversation about it? Sometimes a conversation has to be had.
You're right.
So that way, if you do decide, okay, well, I kind of have to leave you here for now
Yeah.
with the walk that I have, maybe God may bring us back so I can come get you and bring you with
Yeah.
me, or that may not be their course. Conversation, I learned the hard way. Conversations are good to have if you're deciding to go a different route versus just kind of like going cold turkey. Well, some people do deserve that conversation.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of decide if you're willing to have that conversation. Sometimes it can be scary, but as I stated, past experience, having a conversation is better.
Right. So, with whomever you have in mind, were you able to reconcile with them? Or did you have the conversation and then y'all just decided, like, we'll just have to reconnect if God brings us back together?
Conversation was had, and it was okay, cool, no problem. But then I start getting the
Cold
cold
shoulder.
shoulder. I'm still speaking, and then it's kind of got, okay, cool, no problem. Maybe our journey has ended, and you just have to be cool with that, because some
Right.
people, they can't handle where you're going. They may not be ready to embrace that part of you. They're still connected to the old you.
Yeah.
Whether it may be y'all used to party, y'all used to drink. That's the version of you that they
They
want.
knew and want. Yeah.
They don't want the new version. The new version is probably boring.
Yeah.
All you do is go to church, she go to school, she go to work. She don't want to party no more.
Yeah.
She don't want to drink no more. I'm still living my best life. So, I mean, I feel like you still can't live your best life in God. It's just a different version of your best life.
I agree. I think that was one of like the things that I feel like I struggled the most with in terms of being young and taking my walk with Christ more seriously. It does look like everybody is having more fun. Like they're turned up, they're upside down, they're having fun. Like I'm praising it, I'm having fun. But like to Maverick City music, like it's different.
It
But
is.
I'm learning that like different isn't bad. And sometimes looks aren't everything. So it may look like they're having fun, but like their soul is dying on the inside. So like how much fun are they really having in the moment?
Right.
And you did talk about like we talked about knowing when to cut somebody off versus knowing when to keep them close. And something that we've talked about oftentimes in regards to specifically romantic relationships is guarding your heart, knowing what to say, when to say, how to say it, etc. So how can we as believers and women specifically, because we're just emotional beings just in general, overall, how can we better guard our heart first in new friendships? So I want to ask that first. When you're first making a new friend and you're like, we're connecting, we're clicking, I think this is somebody I could be cool with. How do you guard your heart so that you're still maintaining, like starting to maintain that healthy boundary, but not like going all in, but still not being like isolating and like, she doesn't want to talk to me, she's hot, she's cold. How do you handle that balance? How do you balance that?
It's hard at first because, like I said, I used to be friendly, want to make sure everybody was okay. I'm trying to fix everything. But then, when you have those conversations, you're thinking you're confiding into somebody, and then now your whole
Business is
conversation
just in the streets,
is
right?
it's been plastered everywhere. New chapters have been added. Like, wait a minute, where did that happen?
Who said that? I've never said that.
So when
Yeah.
you start to break off from people, and then you start having new people come in as you're changing, some are sent by God to assist you in your walk. Some of them are there to destroy it. So as you're taking your walk, you have to really pray on that discernment. I had to really look at who was coming around in my circle.
Right.
If you're adding to me or taking away. And a lot of people over the years were just draining me. So having to separate from that, it was hard because you have fun with these people, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I don't really want to do that no more. So you're changing, your attitude is changing, the words are changing. So it's just, you have to have that discernment yes, you can give a little, but then you have the people that, okay, well, she's giving a little. Let me keep adding to see
Take
how
an
much more I
inch.
can get. Or then, okay, now she's vulnerable. Let me see how much I can really take. And they really take off at that point.
Right.
But you kind of have to always draw yourself back a little bit and be like, okay, now is this aligned with what I'm trying to do? Or is this aligned with where I'm trying to go in God?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to question that, I would say more than once, it may not be for you. And you may want to rethink that. Because
Yeah.
it could be difficult.
It definitely can. I think being a woman can sometimes making friends a little bit more difficult, especially I feel like when I was younger, girls can be catty and whatever. And I like how you talked about like just having discernment and knowing how that person makes you feel. I think it's good to take a personal inventory. Like that's something that I started doing is how do I feel when I've left this conversation with this person? Am I leaving with negative marks of like, oh, they said this and I felt this, or her tone was off when she said this,
Right.
or just like, oh, like she filled me up and she filled me up. And you talk about giving and not taking. So how do you handle a friend who just only calls you when they want something or when they need something and they're not pouring back into you the way that you're being poured? So it's always, hey girl, I got a vent. Hey girl, I got to talk. Hey girl, I need $20. Not, how are you? Or how can I assist you? Anything, is there anything I can do to make your load lighter? Anything you want to talk about? So how do you handle when you're with a soul sucker? Like when you're with a friend that's just not
Well,
pouring back into your cup that's already being poured out of by different things.
in my younger years, in my 20s, early 30s, coming into my 40s, I learned that I was somewhat of an enabler to my friends,
Yeah.
family. I'm the go-to. Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, okay, sure. Hey, can you teach me this? Or can you give me this? I'll give it back this way. And then the day that I'm supposed to be getting it back, hear from, well, text, okay, cool, whatever. I just brush it off. But then as I start getting into my 40s and being intentional, and when I decide I was going to take that walk with God, I start seeing different things and be like, well, darn. Hey, Ro, you got $100 till next week? Who is this?
They asking for a Benji?
Who is this? Yeah, big dog. Big dog.
Not Mr. Franklin. That's
Not
insane.
5, not 520.
That's
no tens.
crazy. Oh wow.
They going for the
Oh
gusto.
wow. They're audacious. I'll give it to them.
And I'm like, well, hello, good evening. How are
Yeah.
you? Who is this? Oh, you don't know who this is? Well, I haven't heard from you in a minute. Oh, I was just, and in my 40s, I had to get to a point where, no, I cannot assist you.
Yeah.
When I started saying no, I started becoming the problem. I was being funny because I was saying no. But earlier, sure, I could show it. Even if I didn't have it, I'm lending from a place I didn't have. In reality, God ended up providing. Yes, praise the Lord. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I was giving my last to accommodate somebody else, but then I'm left with nothing. I'm like, I had to get to a point where I had to stop doing that.
No is a complete sentence. My parents are teaching that. No is a complete sentence. Like you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to overextend yourself. Like you can just say no, and that's just that.
True, but then you'll have the friends that say, well, why not? So if you get a why not, what would you do then?
I just can't. Baby, these bills is big. Like, I don't know. That also brings up a different question I was thinking about, and I didn't know if I was going to ask you, but now I'm going to ask you. Do you loan your friends money? Or is that a boundary that you have set that you don't give your friends money?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I used to. Now, I did have some friends that I knew I would get my funds back. So them, I would let them borrow. And I may still let them borrow now. They haven't asked, but I may still. But then I had the ones that, third time you don't pay me back. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't.
No, I definitely understand that.
And then when I brought it to their attention, they were offended.
Oh.
Well, I can't borrow. No, the last time I let you borrow X, Y, and Z, I didn't get it back. Oh, I paid you back. Let's check the Cash App. This was sent,
Yeah.
but it was not returned. No, I'm good.
That's valid. No, I think it's completely important to know what boundaries that you have as a person. And then my parents and I talk a lot about uncommunicated expectations. So also kind of having that conversation with your friends whenever it may come up natural, as in like, this is something that we are going to do. This isn't something that we're going to do.
Right.
For the most part, I will say I haven't had any issues with money when it comes to friends, but I also do not give my friends money. Not that I don't have it, I just try not to because I
Right.
know it can complicate things. But I will say I do have one friend, and we were both just really down bad that summer, and we were sending the same $20 back and forth to each. We were really just like, I'm at the gas
Sometimes it
station,
be
I don't
like
have any
that, though.
gas. Right. But this was, I will say, this was a friend that I have had for years. So this was like an established, like, if I don't get it back, I'm not worried about it
Right.
because she may have gotten me, etc., or whatever the case may be. And I think
Yeah.
grace is also something that should be had, but it's hard to have because,
is.
especially with friends, I had mentioned to someone before, like, I'm so mad at this person, X, Y, and Z. And then a couple months later, I was like, but I forgave that man. So if I can forgive all these other people who have done less things,
Right.
why do women have such difficulties overcoming barriers like that when it's in your relationship, whether it be miscommunication or a misunderstanding? Why do people find it so much easier to give grace to their romantic partners than they do their platonic friendships?
Sometimes it could be the environment of what they seen, whether it be family members, a parent, past friendships can also affect new friendships. So it just kind of depends on the scenario or that person.
Yeah.
So old trauma can create new and affect new relationships.
100%.
So if they don't heal the old trauma, speaking from past experience, it can affect new relationships.
Right. So as in like something that someone has done in a previous relationship can affect your friendship, this current friendship, yeah?
They can.
I definitely agree. I think a lot of times sometimes people are a little bit aloof, but sometimes people just don't want to commit to doing the work to fix the things that they fix the problems that they see because it requires work. That means I actually
And accountability.
And accountability. See,
ma'am.
you're all in my pockets. Okay. Accountability. So, speaking in friendships, how do you hold your friends accountable? And how do you make sure that your friends are holding you accountable? I think sometimes, speaking specifically when I was younger, like in college, I think I would have friends that I knew that they were doing things I just like wasn't right or wasn't cool. But sometimes that fear can creep in, like, what if they snap on me or what if they disagree with me?
Right.
But like what I'm seeing is not right. So how do you make sure that the people around you are holding each other accountable?
Sometimes when you're having those conversations, you have to be willing to take that risk. So if it's something that you're not agreeing with, you have to be able to take that risk to have that conversation. Like I can say my one true best friend for life, which I lost her to cancer November last year. Baby girl ain't had no problem with holding me accountable for
That's
nothing.
good.
I didn't like it,
Yeah.
but I knew it was given to me out of love. Like if I'm doing something and she calls stupid, she said, "Your smart box isn't working today, is it?" I'm like, "Man, what?"
She said, let's think critically.
Yeah, she's like, "Your smart box not working today, right?
Yeah.
I need you to go back into the office, declutter, and come back and bring it again." So it's just your friends and yourself can't be afraid to let them know. Because if you don't, how can you call yourself a friend? If you're letting them go down the wrong path and you can kind of help them prevent that, whether they want to hear it or not. And whether you believe it or not, sometimes they are listening. They're not going to show it to you,
Yeah.
but they're listening. Because half the time I didn't want to show her neither. But she knew, and I knew it was coming from love, and she's never steered me wrong.
Right.
She had no problem with correcting me or making me accountable for nothing.
Okay. How long were y'all friends?
Over 20 years. Let me see, my oldest is 29, like 25 years.
Oh, wow. That's like as long as I've been alive. That's a very long friendship. Wait, I need some tips. Like, how do you hold on to your friends? How do you hold on to your friends? I feel like sometimes, a lot of the times, I think the friends that I've quote unquote lost have been because of like major life changes. So we moved like 2 weeks after I graduated high school.
Okay.
So I didn't get to have the summer to spend with my friends because I lived 2.5 hours away. And then I went to college. Okay, I made new college friends. Now I'm moving away again. And now I'm 4.5 hours away and they're busy. I'm busy. So like, how do you hold on to these friends in
It's not easy.
major life changes or
It's not easy.
seasons?
It's not easy because we had seasons where, a season where we didn't talk.
Okay. How
'Cause
long did y'all not talk for?
Well, I was in a bad relationship, so I packed up and left
Okay.
to another city. Because if I hadn't, I would have lost me completely. So she was upset because of the way I left. I didn't have that conversation. So I want to say maybe it was about, how long did I stay going? I think like 3.5 years. Every blue moon we would send texts or stuff. And then when I got back and I was getting married, she didn't come to my wedding because she was still in her feelings. But then we eventually had that conversation. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me or call me before and we could have worked this out?
Yeah.
And that's when I found out she was upset the way I left. She felt like I left her. I didn't have that conversation. She didn't know the situation of the relationship and other, and she was mad. Like, why would you keep a secret like that? But it was a shameful moment in my life that I didn't want her to have any part of. I didn't want her to know I was dealing with that, the abuse and all that. I didn't want her to know that. I didn't want her to see me in a different light because I was accepting that. I didn't want her to think I was accepting it. So I left. So we talked about it. As she says, she chastised me about it. But we didn't lose that love because of that. And there was times where she had her instances too. But if you are real friends, you communicate about it. So that's what kept us. Like I said, we had our moments.
Yeah.
And we had a verbal tussle. But
Okay.
it definitely was all out of love.
Okay. Is there a moment in your friendship when you knew, like, this is my girl? Like, this is my girl. Like, is there any moment that you can pinpoint where you're like, we're friends. Like, we're locked in. She's not going anywhere because I'm not letting her. Or did it like gradually build up?
It gradually built, but I knew, I call her, she was my person in human form.
Yeah.
In female form. After my first marriage, at one point, I had lost everything I had. Everything. Down to my kids' toys, everything. I had to send my kids two to my aunt, one to my mom. I was sick. But she, in order for me to get back to me, she and her children rearranged their whole life and live-in space so that me and my kids could have somewhere to stay. She didn't judge. She didn't say anything about it. She gave them love as if they were hers and let me get back on my feet. And I moved out, never talked about it. She made sure I was okay. She made sure they were okay. I knew then, yeah, she stuck with me.
Just my gal pal.
She
Like,
stuck.
yes.
She stuck.
I love that. I love that. I definitely have had that moment a couple times where it's like, you're my girl. Like, who needs a man? We're friends. We're friends. Who needs anything else than friendship?
Definitely was my heart.
Yes,
And
exactly.
when I lost her, I honestly felt like I lost a piece of me.
Yeah.
That was, when your friend, you can say that they are your safe space. She was my safe space. No judgment. Now she gonna give it to me raw and uncut, but there was no judgment. That was my safe space.
So how did you build up the ability, going back to like kind of guarding your heart, like how did you know this is someone that I can be safe with? I think that's something that I probably struggle the most in every relationship that I have, like across the board, is that I don't do very well with vulnerability. And so I don't even give people the chance. Like, there's a lot of things that I'll be open about. There's a lot on the surface where I'll just talk about it. Like, I don't really care. But there's a lot under the surface where it's like I don't talk about it. I try not to think about it. If I think about it, I'm just like, brain, we're not doing this today. So how do you get to a point where you know that this is someone that you can be safe, open, and honest with?
It's a feeling that you can get. You can kind of test it out with little conversations. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about this and see how they do. But any conversation that we've ever had, I've never heard them repeat it. Any trials or mishap I went through, never got thrown back in my face. Like, how some people, friends, when they get mad, they throw back your mishaps in your face. Or, I did this for you, I did that. Why are you throwing up that in my face?
Right.
I shouldn't hear about it again. So you just have to, you'll know. It's a feeling that you get, and then they'll also show it.
Okay. Like a warm and cozy feeling?
Yeah, kind of. They'll it'll feel more like a sisterhood. Your sister, little sister, big sister, whichever one.
Right.
More so than, okay, that's my friend. That's my homegirl. Yeah, that's my dog. That's my homegirl. But that's my sister. So once they hit the sister level, and I'm going toe to toe.
I like how you included the sisterhood part, because I feel like that's what a lot of women yearn for. I'm not a man, so I cannot speak for what men want. I would think that they would like a brotherhood. They would rah, 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 do whatever man stuff they do. But sisterhood, I think, is one of the biggest things that a lot of women try to achieve for or look toward. Do you have experience with like a friend group or being in like a big friend group before, and kind of how the dynamics change when it's different, when it's like not just a duo or a trio, but like a group of friends?
I've had circles.
Yeah.
Over the years that I have experienced, whether it was my circle or being out and noticing another circle, where they're cool and calm and collected and chilling and having fun. But then when they break off to other groups, you're talking about this same said person in this other group that you were just hanging out with.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
The other day. So you have, some women say they want that, but they don't know how to be a part of something like that. Because you'll say one thing, but then you'll go gossip about this person to this person, because they said this one, or she don't like you, so I'm not gonna like you neither. Why?
Yeah.
These people ain't done that to you.
Bandwagoning.
Right. Why are you talking to her? I don't like her. You don't like her.
Right.
That lady ain't done that to me. That has nothing to do with me. Your beef with a person has nothing to do with me, and some females don't know how to separate two. If y'all supposed to be friends, okay, well, I don't like her, you supposed to not like her too. Why? That makes no sense to me. I don't get down with groups like that, but I have seen that.
Yeah, friend groups can be tricky, especially with women. I don't know. I only really have experience with them when I was in undergrad, and
Live a little longer. As old people say, keep living.
I'm trying to be appropriate. Nothing good comes out of friend groups. Let's just say that. Like, it was a hot mess. Everybody just liked everybody. It was too much. We're not friends. Like, we just aren't friends.
You have that, but I have seen a group where they are genuinely, they have the Galentine's Day, they have Friendsgiving, they have the Friends Christmas, that they literally are what you would call a friend group. They have a group chat, they be there for each other. I mean, they literally are. I've never seen nothing like it. And a couple of times, one of them I know, I'm like, why you don't call me? I want to be involved too. But I don't know all of them like that.
I definitely have said that to you before.
I'm like, I don't know them like that, but just to see that, because over
put me in, coach.
The last 20-something years, yes. I've never really seen a group like of females that genuinely were friends.
Right.
Genuinely liked each other and were there for each other and supportive of each other. I've never had that. I've had it to a certain extent, and then my one best friend, I got that from her. But as far as like a group, scarce.
No, I think sometimes good friends can, what's the saying? Come far and few.
In between, yeah, something
Yes.
like that.
I definitely think it's very good to vet people out and get to know them. One thing that I won't say struggle with, but one thing that I look for in my friendships is like, how are you going to better me? Like, how are we going to better each other?
Right.
How can we elevate? How can we level up? If that's what people are saying, how can we level up? So how do you make sure that, okay, now these people that you have essentially picked to be in your circle, to be your friends, have access to you, however you may want to put it, how do you make sure that now you all are both pouring into each other and bettering each other? Because I think the worst thing ever is to get into any type of relationship and then just be stagnant, and then you guys are not doing anything better than you were prior to getting to know each other. So how do you make sure that not just holding each other accountable, but kind of like are sharpening each other's iron? How do you make sure that that's happening?
Well, you can kind of make sure it on your end, but they also have to make sure on their end too. Because you can be doing everything, the check-ins. Hey, you made sure you did X, Y, and Z. Are we still up to meet for this? So we can, do some brainstorming. Because just because you in a certain area of your life and you can well organize, you got everything mapped out. If they like me like I was, if something bad happened in life, everything just fall apart.
Yeah.
You don't want you flipping tables
Now
over.
everything's horrible.
Everything's
bad.
done. You just at a standstill.
Yeah, I don't want to do none of this anymore. Yeah.
Now if they can't be there to motivate you, hey, we're not gonna do that. No, ma'am. You need to get up, get out this funk. Like my best friend, she pull up. If she call and I sound kind of off,
Yeah.
who at the door? I don't want to see nobody. She coming in the room. You don't want to see who? Oh, Lord, help me. So you have to have friends that are not going to let you fall by the wayside. So you just have to have that discernment.
Yeah.
But they also got to have it as well and want to be there to motivate you. So both of y'all got to be on that train.
That makes complete sense. Now, we spoke earlier about most adults just go to work, to church, to home, to the kids' activities, etc. So, how can you take a friendship from just like Sunday morning, hey, how are you? Oh, good. That outfit's cute. Like, how do you turn that into a relationship? I think that's kind of where I struggle with, because I'm the type that you like, girl, you're cool. Like, let's go hang out. But everybody does not like that approach. So, like, let's just hang out. Like, you're cool, I'm cool. Let's be cool together.
You could
Literally, let's be cool together. Like, I can see the vibes. I know you can see the vibes. Let's vibe together. Like, how do you do that and not be like necessarily weird about it? Like direct.
Well, you can always text first, test the waters.
What if I don't have their number?
You ask for it.
So walk me
Do
through
you
it.
mind? Do you? I mean,
if
if you mind if we communicate? I mean, even if you don't have the number, if they have Facebook, shoot
it. What's your Instagram? Like that?
Yeah, you can Instagram, you can Facebook, DM real quick. Hey, I was just thinking about you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Hey, I got some time this weekend. You want to meet up, have some lunch or something? Just kind of throw it out there. Be like, nah, I got some plans this weekend, maybe next week. Okay, I'll check back with you later.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a phone number, then eventually. But I did DM one of the members of the church. I said, hey, here go my number. If you, need me, just.
Okay, so you did put yourself out there. Okay.
Because I was kind of, scared to approach them. They seemed cool.
Yeah.
But nah, okay.
It can be scary because sometimes you never know if the person, like, there's some people's like, I don't need any more friends. I have enough friends. It's like,
no new friends.
Literally, like, we're not Drake. Please, let's be for real. And then you have some people who want to agree, but they don't really know how. They're just as awkward as I am. So we're both just grinning at each other. But then you also
have the kind that are afraid, like, okay, well, if I let this person in.
Yes, that too.
Are they going to hurt me? Mm-hmm. So you have some that are kind of stagnated with letting people in.
She must want something if she's coming over. Yeah.
Pastor T said that about me, like, you too analytical. Yeah. Everybody, somebody say, hey, you're like, why are you here?
To me?
What's the motive? What's happening? So I had to pipe down a little bit.
Was that coming from a place of thinking that, or not even thinking, but having experienced people
The
necessarily
past,
using or abusing you? So you kind of had that guard up and you were
I
just
did.
like,
I had a big wall,
really?
a big wall.
So it was brought up to you. How did you work through breaking that down so that you could like show up in your friendships or at least be open to new connections?
Talking to Pastor Larry and Pastor Teresa.
Okay, so you were discipled into it.
They point out a lot of things
Okay.
that I didn't want to take accountability for. And then I had to get to the point where, okay, more than just these two people saying it.
Yeah.
So I would have random people say, why are you always so mean? Like, you shouldn't be like that. But it's from past trauma, having so-called friends, my business getting out, I'm thinking I'm confiding in this person. But then when you get mad, the conversation is being had, and then you done added some new chapters. So I've been dropped emotionally by so-called friends.
Mm.
So in the past, to protect me, I'm not gonna let you in. You got to break these 4-5 walls down before you get close.
Mm. That's
So
valid.
it was hard to do, but I had to because I didn't want to still be in that mind frame because it was lonely. It was very lonely. So I didn't want to. You have to not want to stay in that. I call it a dark hole. So you have to want to come out of it.
Right. That's good. I definitely agree with that. I won't say I necessarily struggle with the walls. I mean, vulnerability, yes, but at face value, I will say like I am very like cheesy and friendly. So like you being called mean is so funny to me because I never got that vibe. But also,
Really?
respectfully, I never cared. Like, what do you mean mean? Like, no, what we're gonna talk. What are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I never like some people may look a little frumpled up when like in their face,
Mhm.
but that isn't necessarily indicative. We're gonna go with that word. If I'm wrong, don't check me. But we're gonna go with it. But that's not necessarily like proof that that's how that person really feels. Like
It's not,
they might
but
just be focused. I have a focus space. I've been told my focus space is not a nice space, but I try to work on it so that people don't think that they can't approach me because of the same type of reasons. Because I am approachable. I love to chit chat. I love to yip yap. I'm with all of it. Like, I don't know. But also, I will say I don't have an issue with kind of pushing the envelope with people. So if I can tell this conversation is a little bit harder for you, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make it harder, but I'm gonna keep going because like that. Sometimes you just have to push through the discomfort, or like
right.
I'm good at gauging who you can
Right,
do
but
that
you gotta
with and who
sometimes be
not.
careful with that because everybody don't like that
They
push.
don't, and I'd love to push. I might karate chop, kick it down if you let me. But I'm trying to learn that not everybody, like you talked at the very beginning about communication being one of the
Mm-hmm.
most important traits to you. And I'm learning because the same thing people keep telling me that everybody doesn't communicate with you that the way that you want to communicate with. So when it comes to conflict, whether it be romantic or platonic, family relationships, etc., let's just talk about it right now. Like you're feeling this type of way, I'm feeling this type of way. How about I not go home with this knot in my belly and we
Yeah,
can just talk about
that
it?
ain't me.
I don't care how you feel. We're gonna talk about it right now.
Uh-uh.
And everybody doesn't
Mm-mm.
like that. Sometimes
Mm-mm.
people need
Time to
time to
process.
process. So how do you work through that type of issue with a friend where it's like we've had a conflict. You said I won't even say that you're not confrontational. You just need a moment to analyze what just happened. I don't need to analyze. I know what just happened. I was here and we're going to talk about it. So us, for example, let's say we just got into a verbal altercation. I let you have it. You let me have it. I want to talk about it and you don't want to talk about it.
Uh-uh.
How do you handle that without offense?
Because I don't want to offend anyone because the past row didn't care if she offended.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it's gonna come up, it's gonna come out, and I'm gonna walk away. But the new role, I have to be more mindful. So I need a minute to process the situation because I don't want to say something that may take us backwards versus us fixing what may have just went wrong, because it could be a simple miscommunication.
Yeah.
It could, I have been told, my tone
Yeah. I'm not the best at that
is
either.
a little strong.
Yeah.
So I have to be mindful how I'm not a soft-spoken person. So even when at work, I've listened to some of my calls. My manager sent me a call. He said, I need you to listen to this and listen to your tone. And man, was I rough.
Yeah. It's not on purpose though. Sometimes it's
It
like
wasn't,
that's
but
how it
I
comes
could hear
out.
when I heard myself, I can tell that I had allowed the member to frustrate me, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
I still have to stay in my professional and keep a calm tone regardless, whether it's my job or a friendship, because everybody can't handle a strong tone, as they say. And sometimes mine can come across rude. And I had to hear myself to understand what people would say. Because they would come, oh, that was kind of harsh. I'm like, I didn't say it harsh, but I can.
Yeah.
But I had to grow up and learn that I can't do that to people. So it's a learning
Definitely.
process.
No, I can definitely agree with that. Like I said, I'm the type like let's just discuss it, and then it's like no, like
Some people just need just a
we're
little
gonna
bit.
discuss it until I feel like, but I can't. I'm learning that I can't have that point of view and perspective. And it's so funny because a lot of times people think that dying to your flesh or picking up your cross is just like, oh, I'm not having sex anymore. I'm not cursing. I'm not sleeping with him anymore. I'm not
It's
going
a
to the club. But
whole
sometimes it's really
new
like you
world.
have to die to your tone, that you die to your ego,
Your attitude.
That's exactly what I was about to say next. Like sometimes you really have to like lay these things down because this isn't I'm not the only person in the relationship.
Right.
Like we're in this friendship together, and you have to take other people's feelings into account.
You
Like you
do.
do have to care, and that's something that I'm just starting to pick up on. Not starting to pick up on, but like really be intentional about in my friendships.
Not only that, you still have to you have to look at them and learn their patterns. You have to pay attention to detail. When they talk a certain way, their posture, their mannerism, when something happens, how does that affect all of that? You just have to pay attention to detail. Like a lot of my friends, I can tell when they mad. I can tell when they happy. I can tell when they sad. I can tell when they finna really go off their rocker. They finna let somebody have it. It's just their body mannerism changes. Their facial expression changes. So you have to pay attention to your friends, your surroundings. That's how you can tell, oh, well, she finna pop off. Hey, come out the door with me and get some fresh air.
Yeah.
You have to know when to kind of step in a little bit to keep them from
Going off
spazzing
the
out.
rocker, yeah. That's real. I have one last question for you. The fruits of the spirit, I'm going to say them out loud. Which one is the hardest and the easiest to have in a friendship? We got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Which one can be, let's start with the easiest. Which one is the easiest to have with a friend for you?
Probably love.
Yeah.
The hardest would probably be self-control.
Really? That's not what I was expecting. Why self-control?
Because you have to be mindful of the other person.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to be mindful of their feelings, how they, like, if you go rah-rah to somebody, that could cause them to shut down.
100%.
So you can't handle everybody the same way. So you just have to be careful how you know, approach certain conversations or situations with different people.
Right.
Because everybody can't handle that strong approach, that strong tone, or that stern tone,
100%.
or that directness. Everybody can't handle that. You have to
Yeah.
kind of gradually walk them into it.
That's
So.
good. I was like, I can't ask you and not answer myself. I wasn't even prepared. Let's see. I will say the hardest for me to have is faithfulness. I'm trying, not trying because I am. I no longer desire to be a part of the cut off committee. Like, I'm so quick to just be like, we never have to talk again. And I'm cool, ice cold, chewing gum, cold bottle of water in Antarctica,
That's
cool
something
off
that's
all of this.
serious, Q.
But you can't have that attitude toward everybody. Like, you can't
You
just be
can't.
like, oh, cut, next, cut, because then you're gonna cut all the branches off the tree, and then it's just you standing there by yourself alone because you've cut off everybody. So I'm trying to learn how to have more faithfulness and like long suffering really is what it is in friendships, and learning that like just because we have one little minor argument doesn't mean that really a disagreement doesn't mean that we just argued. Really, sometimes a hard conversation
Or
isn't even just
miscommunication.
it's not always a disagreement. 100%. I'm trying to grow out of that because, like I said, the block button works very good on my phone. I've tried it plenty of times to know. So I'm
You
trying to
have
grow
to
out of
give
that.
grace,
Yes,
Q.
I know. I told you I can forgive that man, but I can't forgive my friend. Like, that's so backward. Like,
Grace.
I'm working on forgiving them now, though. I'm really working on it. I be praying real hard. Like, Lord,
It's a
soften my heart,
progress.
Lord.
Trust me, it's a progress.
Yes.
I'm still working that process.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not as hard as when I first started. Ooh,
100%.
you upset me. You hurt me. We done. I'm done.
That's real. No, same. I'm learning that sometimes I was gonna say all hurt isn't bad hurt, but sometimes the hurt that I'm feeling is really just because of personal issues that I have. Sometimes, like, it's really not the offense that the person caused. It's really the offense that was already in my heart done by somebody else, and they just
Exactly.
kind of twisted the knife that was already in there that I didn't take out because I refused to heal from the situation. So sometimes it's like what that person did isn't really what you think it is, or wasn't really their intent, and that's okay. Like, it's sometimes it's okay to like let it go and forgive. Like, every hurt or negative feeling that you may have doesn't have to be justified. That's really what I'm learning, is
Right.
that it does not have to
Do
be
you still
justified.
find it hard to let go?
No, I've done a lot of letting go lately. I
Have you
will
picked
say.
it back up?
That's a really good question. You know, it's a great question. So I do have one friend that I'm really working hard to forgive right now, because this is probably like the longest serious friendship that I've had. And I will say, before cutting this person off, I did communicate with them, like, the things that you're doing are hurting me, like, very bad. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. I told this person like multiple times, and it wasn't just like, oh, you're hurting me. Like, I'm giving specific scenarios of like,
Okay.
this is what you did, this is exactly how I felt. I'm really good at looking at the other person's point of view, so I can majority of the time understand why, like, be able to look back and be like, okay, maybe they did this because of this or this. But it's like, it just wasn't, the things that were being done were not, I could not rationalize them in my head. And so after I've communicated to you multiple times that the things that you're doing is hurting me, the next step is for me to just exit the situation. But I did let this person know, like, this is just not a season. And then it was becoming very clear. It wasn't just like I cut them off out of flesh. I was getting confirmation, like Pastor Chi preached something on Sunday. No, I think like I heard something on a Wednesday, heard something again on Friday, and then she said it something else like on that Sunday. And I was like, me and someone else in the congregation who I had spoken to about in detail about the situation, they kept looking at me because they were there for almost all the other situations. They were like, yeah, like, this is your confirmation that it's just time to let this person go and let it be okay. And I think letting go was the hardest part, because I'm like, you're hurting me and you don't see it, and it hurts more that you don't see it and you don't care. But now I'm in the reconciliation process. We communicate now. We just haven't had like that hard conversation about everything I really am avoiding it.
So do you think if they came to you and took accountability for those things, would your mindset change?
100%. 100%. Because honestly, it's like I'm learning to let grudges go. And because this is someone that I care so much about as a friend, and someone that I do actually want to have in my life, like, this is someone that I thought was going to be my bridesmaid. Now, not even bridesmaid, maid of honor. I'm nowhere close to being married, but it was always like, if I got married today, this is who's going to be by my side. But I can't say that as of right now, because the accountability was never taken. If it was to be, then we can absolutely completely reconcile and move forward. But I'm not willing to allow myself to be as vulnerable as I was before because the trust has not been restored.
Got it.
Period. Mic drop. Yes. But yes, I think, but I'm definitely trying to learn, like, I can forgive her and it's gonna be okay. And even if we never reconcile and get back to where we were before, the forgiveness is there. Because for a long time, like, I had very strong negative feelings. Like, I literally had to remove this person on all my social media. This can, Lord forgive me. I texted my sisters and was like, unfollow. We do not associate with this person anymore. Like, and that's how close we were. It's like they were like, this is someone I've literally known since I was like 19, 18 years old. Met them like right when I got to college, like stuck like glue. But it was just like, how could you do that to me? To me? How could you do that to me? And looking back, I can't understand that the space that the person was in at the time. But accountability does still have to be taken because it's like, yes, this is what you were going through. This is how you may have felt. But like we were just talking about before, like considering other people's feelings, knowing that you're not the only person in this relationship and you're not just looking at it.
But sometimes when life happens to a person, sometimes their mindset can't think that far.
You're right. I've been told that as well.
They can't, like, for example, when I was in my situation, I didn't think that I needed to tell my best friend. I was in survival mode. I needed to get out.
Yeah.
So certain situations, they can't think that far. About, hey, I need to reach out to my friend and let them know what's going on, this, that, and third, so they won't feel no type of way. That mindset is not there at the moment.
Yeah. Are you telling me to forgive her?
Hey,
Lord?
Listen. You have to have that discernment.
I do want to. No, genuinely though, like this was like almost a year ago at this point, like a calendar year. So like I feel like enough time has passed. And I was not in close proximity with this person, which I think kind of helped the healing process because it's kind of hard to heal from someone that you have to see all the time.
True.
So it's like we had our time and space apart. And I'm like, okay, I think we can be cool again, reconcile. But it's just having that hard conversation. Like, I'm not one to run, but I'm kind of running from this. I think I'm running because it's like if accountability isn't taken, what then? Let's just put a period then. What then? What do I do at that point when it's like you're not seeing what you've done to me, and that hurts. How do you?
Okay, I'm gonna give you this scenario. What if they do take accountability, and by the time you get it at that point, you don't want it no more? What are you gonna do?
That's like, whoa. How did we get on me? Hold on.
I mean, you brought it up. I'm just saying.
You know what? I will say, I don't think. There was a point where I was like, I don't want it anymore. I was like, this person can come back today and I would not care at all. But I think I'm kind of at the point where like I'm still open to it. I think it's more so the fear of it not happening at all versus when it happens, just it not happening at all. Okay. So what do I do if accountability is never taken? I really struggle with that. So like, what do I do if you don't see what you did to me? Sorry.
It could be they don't want to take accountability. Or they may, honestly, they may not see it your way.
Yeah.
So sometimes you may just have to keep it moving.
That's valid.
I mean, they may eventually come to the point where they think about it. Oh, I want my friend back. Let me call her. Okay, hey, I remember we had a conversation about this. You said this. I want to apologize. No, you might say, for what? Because you want them to be able to explain it.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
And if they can't explain it, you still may not take it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they took the opportunity to come, you have to decide, well, am I going to be satisfied with this or am I not?
That's valid.
I had the same scenario. It was a family member. They cried and they called, I need to have a conversation. They cried and all this stuff. And I had wanted the apology so long for them to take accountability for it for so long. And I had just gave up. When I got it, it had no effect at all. I'm like, oh, okay. You're not going to say nothing? Nope.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say. And I hung up. So you don't want to get to that point.
No, I hung up.
I did. That was the old
Hang
road.
about you, not in the mood.
That
Oh
was
my
old road.
gosh. Okay.
We
okay.
conversate now.
Yeah.
It's not like before.
Yeah.
It's cordial, but I'm okay with that. It may get better in time, but only time will tell. So just have to have that
You ate me up with
discernment.
that one. I don't even know what to say. I know how we got there.
Just
That
saying.
Lord. All right. You ate me up with that one.
You did shit. You got to be able to, take that ricochet back.
I took it. Boomerang came right back to me.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. That's all for today's episode of The Kingdom Table. If you loved it, if something we said resonated with you, challenged you, or even brought up something that you need to heal in your heart, don't forget to take it to the Lord. Make sure to leave us a review, subscribe, like, follow us, all of the good things.
Ask any questions.
Any questions?
Any topics you would like to hear.
Yes. Let us know what you want to hear. We're here to converse and better you and better ourselves at the same time. We'll see you at the next episode on the first Thursday of the month at 10:12 a.m. at the Kingdom Table.
See you then.
Bye.